Welcome to the session. In the last session, we had gone through what you mean by the basic JDBC programming and the basic JDBC steps to connect from application to your database. Then we had gone through the different type of what you can say the classes, interfaces, and the supporting methods which required to execute or to perform on your JDBC. So then next comes is your what you can say the statement interface. Okay, so in the statement interface you have gone through the different things. So how to execute the statement, how to execute the SQL statements, fine, and the different types of your statement interface are your prepare statement interface, fine. And in the prepare statement interface we had gone through so how you are going to compile that pre-compilation of your SQL statements will be done using the prepare statement interface, so that every time no need to compile the same statement or SQL statement if you are executing it for the several times, for example. Okay, so in that case it is better practice to use the prepare statement instead of the regular statement interface, so that your SQL query will be pre-compiled and it is keep it ready for the execution purpose. And we do have parameterized this thing, so where you can pass we will be having a question mark as a placeholder where you can pass the values which you need to insert into the table. So that is how you are having the applicability of your prepared statement over the regular statement interface. Okay, then we have already worked on it, so how it will be working. So getting the results from this thing is a major or part of your task. Okay, so we are doing all this for getting the results only, right? So how you are manipulated, how you have accessed that data table, how you have edited that data table or something. So you need to get the results, however, whichever what you can say the SQL statements or the statement interface you have executed on that, fine. So let it be insert a table, it has its own what you can say the results, whether it is successfully inserted or not. Okay, so then it comes after the insertion, so it will be in what you can say the update. So if it is an already statement, you wanted to update it, delete it, edit it, modify it, fetch the value from the database table, everything. So whatever SQL statement or you have executed using the interface, that is statement interface, it has to have written a kind of result. Yes or no? That result can be accessed and can be viewed using this result set interface. Okay, the result set interface is nothing but one table, you can say it as result set is nothing but a one table which consisting of the results which has been accessed from your statements. Okay, so which are being returned by your statements. So statement is going to return some kind of results, fine. So let it be insert, delete, just now we discussed insert, delete, update, and fetch the value from the database. Any type of SQL statement you execute, that is going to return one result set. Okay, result. So to store that, we do have a table called a result set where it indicates the rows and columns where the results will be stored in the other sense. Okay, so that is what your result set interface is work for. Then we will be having a different, just now we said result set is in a table of results which is being returned by the statements what you have executed, right? So to access that table we are going to provide a different type of a result set versions. Then we do have a different type of a methods to access that result set table. So see, there are some different applications where all the data or the row from your result set need to be accessed one by one, and there are some specifications where we wanted to access only a specified column or a row from your result set. So you wanted to forward, you wanted to backward, that particular table, how you wanted to access the results from that result set table is being understood by the methods which will be given or provided by your result set interface. Okay, so this is the brief about your result set and how it works on your JDBC or something, fine. Okay, let us start. the result set objects contain results after the execution of SQL statements. Yes, suppose just now we discussed the results what you have been returned by the SQL statements. Either you use the regular this thing interface statement, prepared statement interface, or callable statement interface. Okay, anything which you execute on behalf of SQL statements, so that is going to return one kind of a result, and the results will be stored in case of your this thing will be the result set interface. Fine, it's an object which contains the results after the execution of SQL statements. Fine. Okay, then the result set object maintains a cursor pointing to the current row. So obviously we know that there is a lot many results which may return or fetch from that particular execution of a statement. So in that we will be having results in the form of rows or something, so which we need to execute, which we need to fetch the value from. So your result set maintains a cursor to which row you wanted to fetch, to which row you wanted to access, that will be maintained using this. Then the next method which the cursor moves, then next row of the result set. To go to the next what you can say the row in your result set, there will be a defined method in case of your result set interface, that is next method. Okay, so you can observe here this next method is an built-in or inbuilt method which will help you to go to the next row in that result set table. Yes, by default result set object can be moved forward only, okay, and it is not updatable by default. Okay, the default values for the result set object or the result set interface or the table will be, it is only the forward way, or it is only in the one way, and it is not updatable by default. But you can make some modifications based on the type of the result set. You can get the different versions of your what you can say the result set. So here they have mentioned, so we will go through this. What is this? The object, we can make this object to move the forward and backward direction passing either type underscore scroll underscore sensitive, that is type scroll insensitive is the one option, and the type underscore scroll underscore sensitive is the another option, which are the mainly categorization of your what you can say the result set interface. So how you are going to categorize? So that you are going to pass those types, that is type scroll insensitive and type scroll sensitive in the as a parameter in case of your creator statement itself. While creating the statement as a parameter, you are going to mention your result set type of which you wanted to or which you wish to access in the form of. Okay, so that is going to mention the type scroll insensitive means that format, in that form you are going to get the results and it will be stored in a result set interface. Okay, then okay, these are the main what you can say the basic type of your result set interface. The first one is result set dot type forward only. Type forward only means obviously we do have a set of tables. Just now we discussed result set will be a table which contains the results executed by the SQL statements. So let us say this is row 1, row 2, row 3, 4 and 5. These so many rows which is indicating, just for example I have taken a rows 5 and 6. Fine. So forward only means it is in the unidirectional. So you cannot go to the backward. It is forward only means after 1 you are going to 2, you are going to get 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is in a unidirectional. So whatever results you have been fetched from the execution of the SQL statements, the results will be stored in the form of forward only means it is in a unidirectional way. That is how you are going to access the results from the result set interface or the table. Then next comes the second type of your result set interfaces, result set type scroll insensitive. So here the result set can be navigated both forward and backward. So in case of your both sensitive and insensitive, so it is both forward and backward. Both the options are working in case of your sensitive and insensitive type of result set interface. And you can jump from one position to another position. Okay, so from first position, you can go to the fourth position of your result set. You can access directly the fourth element which is present in your result set by using some of the methods we will discuss. Fine. The thing is, the type scroll insensitive means the result set is not sensitive to change the made by others. So whatever data is being entered or something, the other cannot, what you can say, the modified. So it is you cannot modify it. Okay, it is not sensitive in that way. Fine. And the result set type scroll sensitive is same working procedure is same as that of your insensitive. And the thing is, the result set is sensitive to change the others made by the others to the database. So others can edit and modify or change the values which have been already entered by this thing. So that is nothing but your sensitive, that is type scroll sensitive of type result set. These are the main, what you can say, your types of your result set interface. Then we do have another type of interfaces which will be helpful for us to access the result set interface is result set metadata interface. What is this metadata? The result set metadata interface which provides information about the result set that is written by an execute query method. The result set metadata extends a wrapper interface. Okay. Then this interface provides some metadata. What do you mean by metadata? About the database you are going to get. It provides the information about the names of the columns. Okay, what is the what you can say the result set metadata information includes, or it returns. It includes the information about the names of the columns, then the number of columns accessed, the number of rows accessed, the number of rows fetched from that. So that metadata from the result set you are going to get using the what you can say the result set metadata interface. Then we do have another this thing interface, which is, these two are optional. The thing is, if you wanted to refer, if you want to get the information, in that case you can refer this particular interfaces. The next interface is database what you can say metadata interface. So here the database metadata is an interface that tells the type of a driver we are using, database product version. Yes, of course, this particular database that is metadata interface returns the database product version, the driver name, total number of table, and also it provides the details about the database providers. Who are the providers of that particular database can also be accessed using this database metadata interface. So these are the optional which you can refer for that particular result set interface. Okay, now we will go through some of the methods which have been listed for the result set. Okay, so these are the methods which result set can be applied for. These methods can be applied for the result sets. Okay, so as we know, it's a table of results which have been fetched from the SQL statements. Okay, so first one is Boolean absolute. It is accepting an int row, one row it is expecting as an parameter. What this Boolean absolute indicates, it moves to the cursor to the specified row number in this result set. See, suppose for example, if you have mentioned the int row absolute of 3 or 4 something, so this 3 means you are going to fetch the result set directly to this third row. Suppose if you have mentioned the row as an third value. Fine. Then void after last. What is this after last? This moves to the cursor at the end of the result set just after the last row. Okay. Then we do have close. It releases the objects of a database. See, whenever you are accessing the result set, the connection, not connection, it needs to be closed. So in that case, we can go for release the objects database, that is used for the close method. Then delete a row, it deletes the current row of the result set. See, if you are there at the first position of your result set, if you say delete, then that current row will be deleted using this delete row method. Okay, then we do have, after the delete row is the first method moves the cursor to the first row. So that cursor will be moved to first row if it is at the any other row. Fine. Then we do have get Boolean. So it is going to access, where is that? Okay, the get boolean method. So in column index we are going to mention the column index. What is the purpose of using that? It retrieves the value of the specified column as a boolean. So either it is true or false, whether you are accessing this thing column index, that will be returned by this get boolean method. Okay, then get boolean string, the similar kind. If it is for the integer, then this is for the, what you can say, the string. Get byte, it retrieves the value of a specified what you can say, the column as a part of byte. Then get byte string column name, this method retrieves the value of a specified column column name. Fine, the column name you can. So first one is for column index. So this is for the column index, it returns in a column as a type of a byte, and this is for the column name, which returns the name of that column as a byte. Okay, then next one is date. Get date method, which also is for, we can say, the column index. It retrieves the value of a specified column as a date. So what is the value of that retrieved value of that particular column as a date, it is going to respond. Okay, similar for the column index, and this is for the column name. Then similarly for the get double, so get float, fine, get int, get string, so long, get long, fine. There are different type of methods based on that database, the data types mentioned for. Okay, then get row, you will be having a different version, so that returns the current row of the number. Say suppose if your cursor is at the 5th row, so that get row will indicate the current row of version of your result set interface. Fine, is check, so this is going to is first. This is going to check whether the cursor is in the first row or not. It returns the boolean value. If it is at the first row, it returns the true. If it is not, then it returns the false value. That is why boolean is first. Then boolean is last is the method which checks and whether the cursor is at last row or not. Okay, so here it returns, again it returns the boolean value. If it is at the proper last row or something, then it will be what you can say returns true or else no. Fine. Okay, so what is the difference between this is first and first, and or else you can say it as is last and last. So here if you are using the last method of your result set, it moves the cursor to the last row. Okay, so you can observe here. So I am having a last row as the 6th this thing. Okay, if my cursor is at this particular row, if it is last, okay, then so it cursor will be moved to the last row. Okay, if it is last, so whether cursor is at last row or not, that value will be returned by your is last method. Okay, that is the basic difference. It verifies, is last method is going to verify whether your cursor is there at the last row or not, and the last method, if your cursor is there at in any point or row or something, then it will get your cursor to that last row. That is the basic difference between is first and is last and last. Then next, okay, this next method moves the cursor to the next row which is specified. So suppose cursor is indicating the second row, but then using the next method it will come to the cursor will come to the third row. That is how the next method will be working. Then previous, it goes to the previous what you can say to the previous row. So these are the some different methods which can be accessed and worked on your result set interface. Fine. Previous, next, last, is last, first, is first, get row, get column, and the column index and column name for the different type of databases, data types that we have accessed. Date, okay, then delete a row. All these methods are helpful to go to that particular result set row. Okay, so here we will go through one sample example of your result set, how the result set will be worked. Yes, first I have imported the java.sql package. As we know, everything which comes under for the as a part of a package or interface or any type of a method which comes under the java.sql package, fine. So for that you need to import java.sql package first. So then it comes, I have declared a class called fetcher record because I am fetching the record from one database, fine. Then it starts with public static void main. I have mentioned what you can say the declared the main method, fine. So then it comes to load the driver. First and foremost thing is to load the driver, I have to go for class.forName. So this is my driver, yes. After loading the driver, it is the time to get connected with that particular database, fine, and that is nothing but connection.con. So connection is an interface. The get connection method which comes under the driver manager class. So driver manager dot get connection. In that method, so I am passing this particular URL, fine. So I am passing this particular URL. So this is my URL, localhost port number. Then I have mentioned the what you can say the username and the password. Everything I have passed as a part of a parameter to this connection get connection method. So after the get connected with that particular database and table, then it is time to create a statement interface. Okay, so this is my statement interface. I have created the object of a statement interface, then a statement, then reference you can say it as, then con dot the create a statement result set. You can observe here I have mentioned type scroll sensitive. So I am going to get the result in the form of type scroll sensitive. So I have already informed you, we have already discussed saying that, so which type of what you can say the results that you wanted, that you need to pass it in the statement interface. So create a statement. So I am passing this result set of type scroll sensitive and result set updatable, so which is getting updatable. So if it is, because it is sensitive, whatever changes have been made by the other persons or this thing to the result set table, that values will be stored in that. Okay, then it comes, I am going to declare the result set interface, the reference, that is rs I have taken as an object, statement dot execute query. Okay, what is that execute query? So I have taken the SQL query as select star from the so and so table. Okay, then getting the record from third row, it is rs dot absolute. Just now we discussed rs dot absolute of 3, means I am going to get the results from first 3 rows, or absolute what it will do, it will take me to that particular row only directly. Okay, so rs dot absolute, this absolute method, what parameter you are passing to this absolute method, that row will be accessed and getting printed. See, suppose for example, if I am passing 3 to that absolute method, then it will take me to third row and it fetches the value from the third row and it is getting printed over there. Then system.out.println, so I am printing all this get string, that is the first row, then the second, then the third. So I am fetching all the values from those particular this thing and getting printed over there. So this is how. So I have used only the absolute method. So like that you can use the is next, fine, the next is first, is last, absolute, then next, okay, previous. There are different type of methods which you can access, and the type of result set which you wanted to set it for, you can pass it using the create a statement object. So this is how your result set will be in that particular format, and you can use all those methods which are accessible and allowed to use for that particular result set interface. This is a small example how to set a result type, in which format you wanted to get your result set, then how you are going to use the different type of methods on that particular result set. That is what it means. Fine. Okay. Then again we will go to the PPT. Fine. The result set. We had discussed what you mean by result set. The basic types of your result set, that is updatable, then scroll sensitive, yes, type scroll sensitive, and result set type scroll insensitive. Both all the what you can say the types we had discussed. Fine. Then we have gone through the several methods which have been listed and were helpful to access the result from the result set interface. Okay. Now we will move to some new concept which has been proved very helpful in case of your JDBC, that is batch processing. Okay, batch processing in JDBC. Instead of executing a single query, you can execute a batch or group of queries at a time. It makes the performance fast. Okay, so yesterday we had gone through the prepare statement interface, where the prepare statement interface pre-compiled your statement and it will help us to execute the SQL statements one by one. Yes or no? So in the prepare statement interface, the statement which you have passed, okay, SQL statement or the command which you have passed in the what you can say, the interface, that is, it can be a prepared interface statement, or it can be a regular statement, or it can be a what you can say, the callable statement or something. But in that case, the statement in case of your prepared statement will be pre-compiled and it is going to keep it ready for the execution purpose. So you are going to pass the values at the runtime and so many records will be inserted one by one. So now I wanted to insert the 100 employee details, okay, into the database at one stretch. Okay, the columns and the row columns will be same for the this thing, but the data what we are entering for the 100 people will be different. Yes or no? I wanted to, instead of inserting it, instead of updating it for so many times, for example, if I am inserting the 100 people details into the database 100 times known, I wanted to execute that. Yes or no? In a previous case. So it is not required in case of batch processing. So that is the beauty of your batch processing, is that instead of executing what you can say, instead of executing the same statement or single statement at a stretch, it is better you go for the batch execution. So if you just wanted to add that query to that batch, and once you execute that batch, means at a stretch which are there, the queries in that particular batch are getting executed. See, it can be 100 or 50 statements you can club and make or create a one batch. Okay, so suppose it is insert a values to a particular database. So what you can do is you add that particular statement to a batch, okay, then update, then delete. There are different type of SQL statements you can club and make a one batch, and if you execute that batch at once, all these statements which constitutes that batch are getting executed by the execution of that batch. That is the main intention of your batch processing. Okay, so that is, instead of executing a single query, we can execute a batch or a group of queries. It makes the performance fast, obviously. So every time no need to communicate with the server, or the resources need to be accessed from the database or something. So if you execute it at one stretch, all the queries which comes under that batch will get executed. The Java.SQL statement and the Java.SQL prepared statement interfaces provide a methods to the Java for the batch processing. Okay, so obviously we know that the statement interface, the main or the regular statement interface, then it comes the prepare statement interface. These two interfaces provide a method to access your to your batch processing. Okay, so what are the different statements you can observe here? These are the two methods which were listed for accessing the batch processing. Fine. So the first one is void batch. Okay, this void batch, void add batch, and it is accepting a string query. It adds a query into the batch. See, suppose for example, this query can inserting the values to the particular database, or you are fetching update the values, you are deleting some row, then you are doing some manipulations to that database. All the queries, it is accepting a one query, which query will be added to this particular batch using the add batch method. Okay, what is the description? It adds the query into the batch. That query will be getting added to that particular batch using this add batch method, which is expecting a query in the form of string, obviously. Then it comes execute batch. Okay, so In this execute batch, it executes the batch of queries. See, suppose for example, if I do have 10 queries which I have created on one batch, if you execute that batch, then all the 10 queries will get executed at a one stretch. So that is what is your batch processing in your JDBC. Fine. Okay. So this is the basic what you can say the steps they have mentioned how to access the batch processing. It is same as that of your connecting to a database, basic steps from a JDBC to your database. The thing is here instead of that we have gone for the execution of single query. It will be execution of a batch or a group of queries, you can say it as. Fine. So the first one is loading of the driver obviously, then create a connection, then third one is create a statement, add query in the batch. Okay, so once you have created the statement, so this statement is going to help us to execute a SQL queries, and that SQL query you need to add using the add batch method. So that query needs to be added to that particular batch, then you are going to execute that. So it is not a mandatory that only you have to have a one statement here. So if it is an only a creator statement, or if it is an only one statement interface, you can have only one query in that. But here I am executing a group of queries at a one stretch. So I am going to add this query in the batch. So many queries you wanted to add it to that particular batch, you can add. Then if you execute that batch, all the queries which you have added as a participant into that batch will get executed. Then you need to close the connection. So here the thing is everything it will remain same, only the thing is, so instead of creating or executing a single query, we are executing in a batch. So let us go through a small program again, how your batch processing will be working. Yes. So this is very simple program. So how your batch processing is working over. So I have taken import java.sql package once again. Okay. So that is all the methods and what you can say the interfaces are listed in that. Then this is my class. Then I have mentioned my main method. Okay. Then it comes class.forName is for the loading of the driver. Then it is for the connection. I have created the get connection method and I have passed the URL. Complete information I have passed in the get connection method. Fine, including the username and password to access that particular database I have mentioned. Then statement. Okay, I have created the statement, that is con.create a statement. I have created the statement. So here you can observe statement.add batch. Okay, so this add batch method is used to add the statement or add the SQL queries to that particular batch. Okay, so here I have created a batch first, then I am going to add that particular statement to a batch, that is insert into a table name values. So these are my values. Then second SQL statement, add batch, insert into, then table name values, and this is my what you can say the second value which I wanted to insert. Then I am saying statement dot execute batch. So I am not saying any execute query, execute update or something. I am saying execute batch. If I say execute batch one time these two queries are getting executed at one stretch. Okay, so the connection dot commit, so it will save the values in that particular table and connection is getting closed. Okay, so this is using the regular create statement interface. So how your batch execution will be done in case of your batch updation. Okay, then we will go through another example. Fine. In this batch updation we are doing using the prepare statements. Yes, obviously first we do have an import statement and java.io because we are reading the values. So because of that we have taken java.io. Then that is my class name, that is batch processing we have taken. Main method. So then I have surrounded this code with some of the try catch block because it may throw an exception in that case. Okay, let us go through the code. Yes, class.forName, it is the load of the driver once again, connection method. Then I have created the statement. You can observe here in the previous example we have created a simple statement interface to access that particular what you can say, this thing, statement. So here instead of regular statement we are going prepare statement. Okay, prepare statement, insert values or to the table name values, and here instead of values I am passing the placeholder in the form of question mark. This question mark, as we have already discussed, is acting as a placeholder which values you are going to pass at the runtime for the different several what you can say, the queries. Okay, insert into user, that is the table name values. I have marked or I have placed the placeholder to get the values. Fine. Buffered reader we have used to read the values. Okay, buffered reader, new buffered reader, I have created the instance, the input stream reader system.in. Whatever values are going to entered by the user, that I am going to read here, because I am accessing the values. So here I have not mentioned the values. You can observe here, this is just a placeholder. So I have not passed the actual values to that particular statement or SQL query. So I need to pass now. So which user is going to enter, that value will come and sit in this placeholder. So that is how I am going to access the values. So that is what is the advantage of your prepare statement, you can set as. Okay, then enter the ID. So using the readline method I am accessing the values, I am taking the input for that particular ID. Fine, enter ID, then again I am taking it to the name, enter the name, because I do have a 3 placeholders, one is for ID, one is for name, and one is for the salary I have taken. So I am going to read the values, okay, from system.readline. Then that value I am parsing it to the integer because it is an ID. Similar format I have taken the value for the name and for the what you can say, this salary which have been entered, and this is my the setter method of the what you can say, prepare statement. In the prepare statement it provides different set methods to set the values to that particular arguments what you are going to pass, or which will go and sit in a placeholder of your result set interface. So first one is ID. So the set int, because it is in the format of integer, so PS is my prepare statement object, that is ps.setInt. I am going to set the value for the int of type integer. The first is the positional value, that is first row will be a placeholder in the it is going to access the ID. Then set the string, the second one will be the either in the form of string, because I am going to pass the name, and the second placeholder will be for name. First placeholder is for ID, then set int, it is of the type int, and the third placeholder is for the salary. That is how I am going to dedicate those placeholder for the different arguments what I am going to pass at the runtime. So first is for dedicated for your what you can say, the ID, second is for your name, third one is for your salary. Then so ps.add batch. So I have added all these statements to the batch. Okay, now I want to add the more records or something, then it is going to take the answer from the user. If it is yes, then it will, the thing will be remain same, because it proceeds with the same. Okay, then again it takes the second value. Fine, so they have taken an if statement, so where the user can give his feedback. If it is yes, then he can give perform the same operation once again. If it is no, then it comes out of the loop. Then we do have PS, that is prepare statement dot execute batch. Instead of execute query or execute update or something, so we are using execute batch. So how many values user has entered, that has been taken care here. How many values he has entered, so those many queries will getting executed at one stretch using your what you can say, the execute batch method. So add batch method is used to add the SQL queries to the batch, and the execute batch method will execute all the queries which are there in that particular batch at one stretch. Then you are going to close the system. So this is how your execution of the batch is going to work. Then let us go back to the PPT. Fine. Then comes callable statement. Okay. So this is also this is also what you can say, and a type of a statement interface. Fine. So first we have gone to the statement interface, then it will be your prepare statement interface we have gone through with an example. So then it is your callable statement interface. Fine. So the callable statement interface is used to call the stored procedures or and functions. Okay. So this callable statement is used to call the stored procedures and also the functions. You can have a business logic on the database by the use of stored procedure and the functions that will make a performance better because of these pre-compiled. Okay, so what is this? What is the application of your callable statement is using this callable statement you can call the stored procedures and you can call the functions wherever it is required. Instead of embedding the complete code in one program, so it is better you divide it in a different modules. One functionality, for that you can dedicate one stored procedure or the function. Whenever it is required, using callable statement, you can call that stored procedure and get it done, work done by that function or the stored procedure. So usually this is done for the to make it work very easier, fine, and for the security reasons also this can be helpful, because your complete code is not at one place, it is getting divided into different modules, and the different functionalities have been given to those stored procedures or the functions. So whenever it is accessed, whenever it is required, you can call those stored procedures and the what you can say the functions using the callable statements, and your work will be carry on in that. Sorry, fine. The business logic you can mention in case of your that particular stored procedure or the functions, and it will be what you can say the performance will be better using that, because it is already pre-compiled. What your stored procedures will do, so they will take an input and they are processed it and give the output back. So whenever it is required, you just call that stored procedures using the callable statement and it will done get it done on behalf of the user. See, suppose for example we have taken one small example. Suppose if you need to get the age of the employee based on the date of birth, obviously based on the date of birth you are going to calculate the age of that particular employee. Okay, so this is a small stored procedure which I kept separately from the main program, and whenever it is required, whenever I wanted to calculate the age, so just I will call that stored procedure. For example, so here, so date of birth will be an input and age will be an output for that what you can say the stored procedure or that function. So here you may create a function that receives the date as an input and it returns the age as an output for that particular employee. So this is how, this is a small example how your what you can say the functionality has been getting divided into the different segments, and whenever it is required you are going to call it using the callable statement interface. So these are the not necessarily but some optional what you can say the difference between your stored procedure and the functional. You can access it for the stored callable statement for the stored procedure also as well as the functions also, but these are being listed for some of the differences. It is used to perform some business logics, and that is for the calculation, that is function. Then must not have the return type. So we will go through in the next session how exactly your stored procedure will be stored and how you are going to call that stored procedure using the callable statement. Okay, then the function, it must have a return type. It is not required in case of your stored procedure. It may return a 0 or more values, so that will return only one value, that is function. And we can call the function from the procedure. The procedure cannot be called using the functions. Okay, then next one difference is procedure supports the input and output parameters. So here input just now we discussed is an date of birth, and output is nothing but your age what we have calculated using that stored procedure, and the function supports only the input parameter. Then exception handling using the try catch can be used here. Exception handling using the try catch block cannot be used in case of your what you can say the function. So it is there in case of your stored procedure, it will be not supported by your functions. So these are some small differences or the basic differences between your function and stored procedure. Both will be called using the callable statement interface. In the next session, we will go for how your stored procedures will be stored and how you are going to access those stored procedure or functions using the callable statement interface. Thank you.